Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Eric with SweetSpotDFS, and these are my PrizePicks PGA plays for the 2022 Masters Tournament. If you've not yet signed up for PrizePicks, I have a link in the description below. That link will get you straight to the sign-up page utilizing the promo code SweetSpot. And if you do sign up using that promo code, put $20 in your account, you are going to get $20 back from me. So I'm allowing you to play it for free if you so choose to. All you gotta do first is sign up, use the promo code SweetSpot, put 20 bucks in your account, and I'm gonna give you 20 bucks back. Also, PrizePicks is gonna match your deposit up to $100. So your 20 is gonna turn into 40. But if you wanted to put more money into it, just think of it as a discount. If you want to put 100 bucks into it, they're gonna match it up to 100. So you'll have 200 in your account and you only have to spend 80. Again, link in the description below. Highly suggest you guys go sign up if you haven't yet and you're in a state that allows it. All right, let's get into these picks. PrizePicks has a ton of boards out there for round one at the Masters. A lot of fun stuff. We've got strokes, birdies are better, greens in regulation, fairways hit, hole 1 shots, hole 2 shots, hole 8 shots, hole 13 shots, amen corner shots, hole 4 greens in reg, hole 12 greens in reg, holes played, which is just, are they going to make the cut or not? And round 1 strokes head to head. So many options. This makes playing so much, it just makes it so much more fun. Before we get into the picks, just want to remind you, I know I do this in all the videos and I'm sure you hear this all over the place, but windfinder.com. Always look at this prior to making your selections. Why? Because wind is the biggest factor in scoring on a golf course. Like, obviously the difficulty of the golf course plays a huge factor into it as well, but wind by far is the biggest factor that affects scoring. So always come here, double check the day before or even the day of you making your picks. That way you can be better informed of making the right choices. And I'll go through some of these picks to help you understand what to do for rounds 2, 3, and 4. I'm only covering rounds 1. I won't be around to do a video for rounds 2, 3, and 4. So I'm just going to try to provide everything for you guys right in this video. Now, just so you guys are aware, if you're trying to find Augusta National Golf Course on the map, go right of Atlanta, start scrolling in once you see Augusta, and it's going to be kind of in the northern suburb. So you scroll down a little bit and you'll get right there. I think it's kind of funny, if I can scroll in, that they actually have all these holes named. Because a lot of the times if you zoom in on a golf course, it's not even going to tell you which hole it is. But they have it all here, of course, for Augusta. Anyways, always come here, double check. Obviously, this is Wednesday night. So Thursday, we can look at the wind and we can check at 7 a.m. in the morning. 10 miles an hour is what's forecasted. At 10 a.m., when most of the people are going to be, well, I shouldn't say most of the people, but a good chunk of people will be on the golf course. It's going to switch to 14 miles an hour. Then it goes up to 15 at 1 p.m., goes back down to 14 at 4 p.m. And then if anyone's still lingering around on the golf course around 7, it's going to be 12 miles an hour at that point in time. So they're basically all going to face the same wind pattern, or not so much pattern, but just wind intensity, except for kind of the early morning golfers. But they're not gonna feel that for very, very long. It goes from 10 to 14, so it's not a huge difference. And in all reality, I don't think there's an advantage currently Thursday. So if you want to choose morning or afternoon, I don't think it really matters. So I wouldn't so much care about which wave you select golfers from. So long-winded way to say, don't worry about it tomorrow. It's just gonna make scoring more difficult. So that's the only thing to really take away from that. So if we go to strokes and we look at some of these projections, I think PrizePicks is high for having these. Like, there's something going on. These projections are insane. Insane in the way that they're super low for some of these guys. Like, if you were to look at Jon Rahm's Masters last year, round 1 he went 72, round 2 he went 72, round 3 he went 72, round 4 he went 66. Yes, Rahm is good enough to shoot in the 60s, but round 1 with the wind that we see forecasted, I don't see it. And there were changes made to the golf course to make it even more difficult. So if we're kind of looking at, and I know, last year's data isn't the best data to look at. You would want to look at further back than that. But in all honesty, I just think any of these projections of like less than 71, so 70 or 70.5, hammer the over. Like, you are going to be correct 80% of the time if you hit the over on any of these guys. Now, you can see Tiger Woods here at 73.5. That's actually a really good projection for Tiger. I want him to do well. I just don't think he's going to. He hasn't played a competitive round of golf, at least PGA Tour standard competitive round of golf, since like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. I just don't trust it. 70. I think he can still shoot around 72, but this is if you think he's going to shoot 2 over or worse, then you hammer the over on this one. I personally could never hit the under. I'm not even going to attempt to, so I'm going to stay away from that. But yeah, the rest of these guys at 70, like less than 71 or less than 72, I think you can hit the overs on that and be confident in it. Some of these at 70.5, I do like Xander this week, but I don't know. I don't know if I can get there. I like Jordan this week, but I will tell you my picks a little bit later. I just think as the week goes on and you see the wind, let's give it like a what do you want to call it? A conditional. We'll call it a conditional. If the wind is greater than 10 miles an hour, or let's say 12 miles an hour. I know it's an arbitrary number. 10 to 12 miles an hour. 72 is the projection. If you are not confident on a player that has a projection less than 72, you hammer the over. And that's when the winds are 10 to 12 miles an hour. If it even goes higher than that, and these projections are the same, like 70 to 71, hit the overs. Like I said, you're going to be 80% correct most of the time doing that. And I'm okay. I can live in that number. 80% is good enough for me. And of course, I always want to hit that 12.5 times multiplier. So that's all my picks that I'm going to show you soon all follow that same logic. Now, looking at some of these other ones, birdies are better. Like, you got your typical 4.5. I think these are really good projections. I think a lot of these guys could go over, and some of them might even struggle to even hit their projection. But these are all really good projections. So do with that as you will. I really don't like to play around with birdies are better. Primarily because I don't have the stats to really look into it, so I'm not going to. So I'll leave that alone. I'm going to leave alone greens and reg and fairways hit as well. Hole 1 shots. You got 2 old timers here with Freddie Couples and Vijay Singh. Now, hole 1 has played as the hardest hole, or usually it's in the top 5 of hardest holes on this golf course, for each tournament dating back to 2017. So hole 1 is difficult. These guys can easily get a par on it. Like, these are savvy veterans. I'm not even going to mess around with it. I don't even want to trust it. VJ still has the length to get there, and so does Freddie. Like, I'm not going to try. I'm not going to even try. Hole 2 is a par 5. There aren't a lot of picks here, and that's what kind of bothers me. Now, you can mix and match all of these to create your kind of, 12.5 multiplier if you so choose to do that with 5 picks. Or if you just want to select 1, 2, or not 1, but if you want to select 2 from this and then just put like $10 on it or whatever, double your money. I don't like Tiger on hole 2. I swear I've watched him play that hole so many times, and all he does is disappoint. So if you wanted to hit the over on 4.5, I think I'm there with you. The rest of these guys are actually very questionable too. Like, I like the chances Billy gets a birdie at this hole, and I would like to believe Webb could too, but Webb has some kind of in his last event, he had some injury concerns that it seemed like he kind of didn't show any of those injuries, but I still am a little concerned about it. And Sergio's so erratic that I don't even know how I can trust any of this. But I'd say play your convictions, obviously. I don't mind. Hole 2 is a good one to choose from. I do think it's an over with Tiger Woods though. Hole 8 shots. Hole 8 is that par 5 that goes up the hill. I will show you picks that I made with this. I'll go there shortly. Hole 13, I wish there were more picks for hole 13, more selections like Tiger Woods and Adam Scott. I want more than this. I think I'm really good at determining hole 13 shots. It's an easier par 5. I think birdie is very easy for most people, but I also think par or worse comes into play for others. Like, as long as I saw a good roster of golfers to select from, I could tell you who those are. I don't mind hitting the unders for both of these guys. So if that's what you're feeling like, go for it. Amen corner shots. All old timers. Oh, not all old timers. 2 old timers and 2 studs. I don't get it. I don't get why these are the only 4 golfers to choose from. Just know it's a par 3, par 4, par 5. They're basically projecting that Larry Mize and Sandy Lyle are going to come out of there +2. That's what their projection's at. I think that's fair. And then with DJ and John Rahm, they're thinking they're going to come out of there 1 under or better. I think what you could do is hit the over on this fairly easy. Like, if they're going to hit this projection, I think the best that they can do is par on 11, par on 12, and a birdie or an eagle on 13, which is definitely doable, but that doesn't leave a lot of flexibility. So if you want to hit the overs on these, I don't mind that at all. All right, I'm going to cruise through these. I'm not going to touch green and reg on hole 4. That's a par 3, by the way. It is a longer one that kind of promotes a fade. If you fade the golf ball, it's better. Each one of these guys fades it, except for Louis and Paul Casey. So you can do with that as you will. Hole 12 is that really small green. This is the one that Jordan Spieth hit into the water. That one time he was leading by like 5 shots. He hit it in the water, I think, 3 times. So it's that par 3. Holes played. This is your cut. I'll talk about this here shortly. And then round 1 strokes head-to-head. I don't mind doing some of these head-to-heads. I think if you can find a good matchup, they chose some really good golfers to play against. So I think you could take advantage of this pretty easy. But let's go into my picks. We're running way over time, but it is the Masters. So, you know, this is how it goes. My first selection I did was hole 8 shots. So these are your par 5s. And I chose Justin Thomas hitting the under, Jordan Spieth hitting the under. I went with Victor Hovland hitting the over. Now, this is only because I think Victor Hovland's so aggressive. He doesn't really hit a draw, and your second shot requires a draw if you want a chance at eagle. So I think that's where Victor Hovland's going to do. And I don't think he controls his draws. So I think he's going to snipe one into the woods off his second shot. And then he's going to have to get up and down for par. I feel pretty good about this one. Now, he could obviously come out and just, you know, prove me wrong, but I like this idea of him being over. Now, Rory originally for me was an over as well, because he usually disappoints on this hole year after year. It seems like it would be the easiest and most perfect fit for him, but some odd reason he just cannot play this hole well. But it wouldn't get me to the 12.5 multiplier. And I do make those justifications because I want to win as much money as I possibly can. So I went with the under because it's possible. And then Tiger, he's the same way. He's the same thought process as me with Rory. He disappoints on this hole more often than he doesn't, especially in his later stages of his career. So I went with the over with that one. Plus, I think it's going to be a hard hole on his legs. It's all uphill. So I'm just kind of going with the over on that one. It's more of a feel. Here are the made cuts. Like, what are you projecting? Make a cut would be your over. Missing a cut would be your under. So this was easy for me. Lucas Glover, I'm hitting the over. Veteran, he's played here before. I think he's comfortable here. I think he's going to make the cut. Same goes with Stuart Sink. Same goes with Ryan Palmer. I'm picking on Matthew Wolff. I think he's still not in a good headspace. I just don't trust it. So I don't think he's making the cut. Cameron Champ. I have no idea what the heck this guy's been up to lately. So I am just going with the gut feel here. If he's erratic like he had been, you know, like at the way back during the American Express back in February, I think, or maybe it was January. I still think he's not up to snuff. Like, I think he's going to miss the cut. So that's why I chose the under there. Now we go into strokes. And I told you, pick on these. Like I said, I think PrizePicks is high for some of these. I went over with John Rahm and Justin Thomas. I won't lie. I wanted to go over with Victor Hovland. But if you went over with those 3 and under with the next 2 that I'm going to talk about, you'd only get that 11 times multiplier. I'm greedy. I want that 12.5. So I made an exception. And this is kind of a hedge. This is kind of a hedge based off of the last pick that I had him with, the over 4.5 on hole 8. So I hope he proves me wrong on one of them, or maybe hopefully he hits for me on both of them. But yeah, we're gonna go under. I think you can easily go over with this. And then Spieth and Zalatoris. I mean, these projections are essentially the same as this one because they all need to shoot 70 to get under their projection. But I'm okay if they tie and these are 71s. I can swallow this a little bit better. But these were my picks. I've made 3 of them. I think if I don't win any money this week, I'm gonna lose it all because I'm gonna spend every single dollar that I have into the Masters. Because why not? This is one of the best tournaments to watch, and why not give yourself another rooting interest in playing? But anyways, always check windfinder.com before making your choices. Again, if the wind is up, which it looks like it's going to be for Thursday, and same with Friday. So if the wind is up and those projections are like 70, around 70, hammer the overs, for scoring. And then for the rest of them, just do with it as you feel comfortable. Like, I don't know what it's going to look like for greens and reg or fairways hit, but if you can apply the weather to it, more power to you guys. But those were my picks this week. You can tail me because it's not like I'm playing against you. We're both playing against PrizePicks. So let's win all the money this week. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.